Hi everyone, my name is David. It's been a while, so I just want to give you guys a market update. Like I said, like 3 weeks ago or a month ago, Bitcoin looks healthy. The M2 money supply shows that it's going up, and that's what has actually happened. Okay, now these are what I'm really looking at when it comes to some indicators. So right now, when I look at the stochastics RSI, if you look here, what we need is, so we had confirmation that the blue line and the red line went above the 20. Okay, I talked about that a month ago, like 3 weeks or a month ago, that happened. All right, and I told you on the weekly stochastics RSI, this thing only happens like once, twice, at most, maybe 3 times a year. Okay, we are already into May, and this has happened. All right, think about when, if I show you like here, last time we had it go above, that was like back in September. Okay, and from September we had this move up. Before that, what is this? Uh, it had a fake out move. Like it did go above, but what happened? It went down. Okay, it went up to like 45, and it basically rolled over. All right. Um, but anyway, still, let's say even if you can't really count this one, but these moves, like you see this move here, this was happening in 2023. Okay. This one, I mean, yeah, you can count it. So let's say it was a move like here, and then it happened in 24. All right, and what was that move from here to there? It's like 70 something thousand, right? And so these moves on the weekly, it doesn't happen much. Okay, and then it happened in September. Right now we're having a move in May. Okay, or you could say April. It happened in April. All right. So what needs to happen is when the stochastics RSI reaches like this 99, whatever, 95 plus to 100 level, it needs to be above the previous all-time high of 109,000. Right now, you're looking at the stochastics RSI, you're at, the yellow line is at 75-ish, 76. Bottom one's around 55. So I have plenty of space or room to move up. So do I think we're going to break the all-time high? Yes, I do. The second thing I'm looking at here is the RSI. Okay. And on the RSI, we do have something called a bearish divergence. Okay. So let me show you what that looks like on a bearish divergence. Okay. So if you look at the RSI, and let's go with this one. Okay. What I want you to look at is if I go like this, is really the RSI is on a downslope. Okay, you can see that the RSI is clearly on a downslope. Okay, once again, let me show you. So the RSI is on a downslope. However, when the RSI is on a downslope, Bitcoin, is at an upslope, right? Bitcoin is going up when the RSI is going down. This is a bearish divergence. What this means is if this thing continues and like it goes up, hits the line, gets rejected and go down, yeah, Bitcoin can move up, but it's going to go down. So what we need on this RSI move up is to break that line. We need to break that line and go above it. And if we do that, then we can see some serious moves out of Bitcoin. Like forget, 114, 120,000. You can see that 150, 170,000 move. Okay. So that's the second thing I'm looking for. So, I mean, I still think we're going to break all-time highs, but that's what I'm looking at. So I'm looking at how high does Bitcoin go on the stochastics RSI move up here? But once again, I think we're going to break above the previous all-time high, which is something we need to do. And you're going to have some pullbacks in the process, but still. All right. It's not like a straight shot going straight up. You're going to have some pullbacks and, move ups, but we got to see how that plays. And then we got to look at the RSI and see how high the RSI goes up before, Bitcoin. When you see the RSI starting to go back down because big on the pullback, I mean, like, these are all things you have to think about. The next is the DIF. Okay, is this. The DIF is a pretty good indicator, okay? Because when you look at the DIF, let's go back. When the DIF broke out here, okay, back in 2020, all right, what happened to DIF? It moved up, Bitcoin moved up. And the DIF broke out again, Bitcoin had that double top here, right? Okay. And then DIF is downhill, all right? You had a little breakout, okay, and you see Bitcoin move up. It went down. Look at the DIF. It moved up again. It broke out. Okay, DIF shows you strong momentum. And then DIF went back down here. And then it broke back out. Okay, strong momentum. Strong momentum. That's where Bitcoin was topped, right? Now, look at the DIF now. It's about to break out. And when the DIF breaks out, you're looking at pretty good moves, okay? So, I mean, let's look at this one here. That means Bitcoin was at 28,000, went up to 70. Let's look over here. Bitcoin was at like 70,000. It went up, to almost 110. So if you're looking at 28,000 and that thing went up to, like I said, that's a $50,000 move. You're looking at like 70,000 and almost went up to 120. That's a $50,000 moves on the DIF, okay? Let's look at DIF did break out here, okay? And it moved all the way up and during that time. So let's look at the price here. DIF was like at 20,000. It went up to, 10,000. That's still a 50% move up. Okay. Let's look at the DIF here. It broke out. Let's look at Bitcoin. It went to 40 to 70. That's a 30,000 move. Okay. That's still a big significant move up. Look at DIF here. It was like, 15,000 to, 69,000 almost. So we have the DIF. It's about to break out, okay? And the last time we did this was about a $50,000 move. This was about a $50,000 move. DIF is about to break out. We might see Bitcoin hit, $153,000 to $160,000, maybe $170,000. You're going to see a pretty decent move, okay? So yes, I'm looking at the DIF. I'm waiting for this confirmation here for DIF to break above the yellow line, to break above the pink line. I do think that when the stochastic RSI breaks, gets to that 9,900 level, we're going to already we'll be above 109,000. Then I'm going to look at the RSI to see if it breaks that, higher low trend line, okay? And you have the DFI move up, but you still see it made a higher low. You saw the DFI move up, but on the RSI it made a higher low. So just because the DFI breaks out here doesn't mean that the RSI is gonna break above the higher low trend line, but it can. And so those are three big things that I am looking at, but I know a good move is coming. It looks like DFI momentum is there. The RSI is there. And, stochastics RSI is there. And, of course, there's going to be some pullbacks on the way going up, but, yeah, I mean, that's what I see. Also, like I said before, I'm looking at the M2 money supply. This is the global money supply. Remember, Bitcoin does have a 2-3 month delay. And so back in November till January, the global money supply was going down. And if we look at that, that means Bitcoin has like a 3-month delay to that thing. So November, if you look at November at this time, Bitcoin was like peaking, but let's move 3 months. Okay, so November, December, January. And so it wasn't until about February Bitcoin was going down, because Bitcoin, the global money supply will impact Bitcoin like, 2 to 3 months later. And then it was going down till January, so it should have been going down, maybe even down to here to like January. So February, March, April, around that time. So from February or end of January all the way down to like April, Bitcoin was heading down. And now the M2 money supply started going up from January. So now you have February, you have March. And if you look here, it continues to go up, okay, in this chart. So because of the delay effect of M2 money supply going up, starting around, April, we're into May, Bitcoin's pumping up because you have more money in this global market, right? And it takes some time for that money to go into Bitcoin and even other asset classes, okay? So, when I look at the DIF, the stochastics, the M2 money supply, yeah, do I think you can have some pullbacks in the process of this pump up? Sure, because you had a huge move up. Well, this is not sustainable. You can't just keep going up. You're going to have some pullbacks and whatnot. But with the global supply, I look at DIF, I look at stochastics. On the weekly, I'm not looking at the day. I'm looking at a bigger time frame. Things look positive. What I like to see is on the RSI, we break above this, lower high trend line that I showed you here. Okay, we got to break above it. All right. But right now, Bitcoin looks healthy. Sure, we got some pullbacks in the process, but still, it looks good. And I think we're still in a bull run. And yeah, now for me, personal level, I am in just all altcoins right now. I think the altcoin season is, hopefully it'll start or is about to start. And that's all. Remember, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing, what I think will happen, and I give you all reasons why. And yeah, around this time also should make bigger gains than Bitcoin. That's why I'm in altcoins. All right, everyone. God bless all of you. Praying for all of you in Jesus' name. Please surround yourself with the right people, with good people. Hopefully things, the economy and stuff will get better, and some trade negotiations, tariff negotiations, all of that will work out. I think President Trump is going to try to work it out because he has midterms next year. And so he's playing his, what they call 4D chess, right? And so I think he's going to try to work everything out, smooth things out sometime this year. So that way it'll look better and he can still keep the House and Senate for midterms. So we'll see how things play out. All right, everyone. Like I said, God bless all of you in Jesus' name. Bye.